Well, hello there and welcome to the Creative Gardener. It's Amanda here, and what a battering this garden has had. But there's loads of things, let's look on the bright side, that is happening. That tree needs to be trimmed, for instance. But let me just show you the video that I took of, I think it was Tammy or Otis, who we just got the kind of tail winds and rain of it, but there was a lot of flooding. So take a look at this and you can see how it is there. Oh my gosh, oh wow. Let me get on the other side. See, we're gonna have to, it's not working, is it? We have to clear by here. All the water's supposed to be running down. And so a lot of the water is drained off from under here. This was my under the house storage, and the water's just, there was about 5 inches of water, as I said. So some of the things that I've got to do now is dig deeper trenches. This was one of the areas that drains off the water. The way this is, we need to put a lot more soil under there, or like not soil, the gravel, and build up the height so that it's not like, oh, let's go down this slope. So we need bigger drainage. This is a trench, actually. It's difficult to see, but it goes down into the well. And then there's one on this side. So one of the things I've done is I'm trying to build up this area so that the water knows that it's not supposed to go over here onto this bit. This is where coal runs through. So with the slightest of rain, this fills up. So I think it needs to be deeper. And here is my bridge. And this area was a lot deeper, but over time, as the rain has washed all the soil. So I need to dig here. And then I've been racking my brain of how to deal with the slope. And I'll show you some of the ways that I did deal with the slope and what I have to rectify. So I have to come through this area. What I had done is planted plants on either side. So now what I need to do is go through the middle and clear it. The plants will still be on either side, but there needs to be a clear path for the water. That is, regardless of, I am going to build up some of the sides, but the water is going to try and flow this way because we're lower than the two other neighbours. So we're on the lower end and then it goes up. So like we're in the valley, it would seem. So I've got to clear this. So that's one of the tasks. So that's what I started doing yesterday. So cutting the front part of it and putting it behind the aloes, which will grow up and act as a kind of barrier. But if there's, kind of barrier. So the other thing that happened is all of the build up that I had done over the years got washed down, and the grass is the latest remnants. So yeah, I had this was actually a bit lower than this, and I've gathered the rocks from the beds and put it all along here. But what I'm thinking is put in a gradient stepping stones, well, not stepping stones, but levels. And I was just inspired as to how to do it. And so I'm going to start here. We've got some quite large boulders. So I'm going to attempt to bring them. So the first one will start here and it will be raised up. So it will go up a bit. How big will it be? It's about 4 inches in height. And then behind it I'll put gravel and then put another level, so you're stepping up as you go up this way, and then that raises this area. See all of the exposed rocks, and all the water's coming from there, directly from here, and gushing down. This is just like a runway for it. And what's happened is my neighbour's building a road behind there, so they stopped work here. They are going to go further, but where they've stopped is kind of like in direct line with his he's got another wall behind there, and it's just another water course. So everything, if you saw, the water was just gushing here, so it was gushing down here, and then it was gushing this way, from this way down here as well. Now, I was pleased actually when I saw, I think this area, I've just recently put some grass on it, but looking at the beds, previously what would happen is the soil would run off the beds. So now it's kind of like, you know, they're established, and I'm still placing, you know, doing chop and drop. What you can see here is the moringa, the drumstick casings. The parakeets come and get the seeds from them, and I think the monkeys, I saw 3 monkeys over here yesterday. I saw them getting some as well. So yeah, I was really pleased with the beds and how they held up. So that's really good. And that was like, you know, I wasn't so disheartened at the damage that the water, you know, what I'm going to have to do now. And yeah, so they held really well. You know, nothing really ran off. And so all I'm going to do now is, what I normally do is put some sticks there and do the chop and drop, and that keeps the everything in place. Yeah, so I was pleased. The overwhelming thing in the garden is the growth. So yes, I wanted a forest, a food forest, but I'm aware that I need to trim these. The monkeys were having a field day in here, and it was just like, no, they've got a spot over yonder, so they need to stay over there. So just really trimming the trees and making, these are moringa trees, so I'll leave one for the birds to kind of congregate, which is probably this one. I'll trim it a bit, but like this has to be trimmed. That's a moringa tree. And then I just want to keep everything at a particular height so that I can get to everything. The Suriname cherry is flowering again. I don't know whether the rain might have washed off the there's some cobwebs as well along here. There's a little one there, really tiny. See it? Oop, there's another one there. So we just have to pray that, you know, they continue to grow and we get some cherries this year. And again, just really cutting back. There are some plants now, they're too established, like this one is a neem tree. So I just keep trimming it back, and obviously, well, not obviously to you, but I don't want to grow another neem tree here. I've got 2 really large ones again that need trimming back. So we'll work on that. So yeah, one of the tasks today is to cut back some more of the foliage here and try and get down the middle. I'm not imagining that I can do it all today, because obviously I'm cutting and then I have to move the branches, and Cole is no help. And then I've got some grass that I need to move in some of these exposed areas because obviously he's running around the place. And I might try and move some of the rocks. And what I might do is, like along here, where these plants along here are established, move them up, and there's some rocks next door that I'm gonna move, but you know, move what's closest to you so that I'm not having to trudge. I've got to get the wheelbarrow and yeah, move some. But yeah, so some of the really big rocks where it's not going to really notice, or maybe not, maybe I'll just have to trudge. Oh, I didn't realise I left you out. All right, yeah, and see what cutting back I can do. And again, you just have to take it a bit at a time because, you know, as I say, everything's really grown up and I want to trim everything by a third. Oh my gosh, I left that door open. Left the door open upstairs and it poured with rain. Anyway, so I'm going to have to go up there and check. But yeah, all of these trees need to be trimmed by a third. So that's a neem tree we're looking at, and that can grow up to 40-50 feet. So everything needs to be, you know, maintained at a height. And even the one behind this is the moringa, but the one behind, you can see the foliage, that has to be cut to there. So there's lots of trimming to do, but because it's so wet, there's you know, the ground's too wet really, and so I can only just do what I can, and yeah, you do what you can, and you do a little bit every day. So that's the encouragement. You know, it doesn't matter how big your spot is, try and do a bit every day and you'll see the results. I mean, with the garden, it's just like you're cutting back and then it's like the next day it seems like things have grown back. Or sometimes it can be really dry and suddenly everything just grows. That's what it feels like anyway. I mean, look at the sapodilla. It's just like, it seemed like overnight it had a growth spurt. Now I'm hoping it's in its year of fruiting, so we'll see. Oh, those monkeys. Oh, no, okay. I've got some sweet sop growing here. This big one, I've got my eye on it. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you for now and get on and yeah, see how I can make some sense of some of the beds and just go, I just go bed by bed, you know, you then see your progress. And even if, you know, by the time you get to the fourth bed, the first bed has regrown, you know, at least you know that you are doing stuff. And because some of the plants are medicinal and they've got nutritional benefits, like say this, even the curry leaf plant, it is really growing wild, so I'm going to be trimming this back. And I've been freezing, say, some of the moringa drumsticks so that I can use it in cooking, and just, you know, making the most of everything that you've got and that you can use, and all the nutritional benefits you can get from the things that you can have around you. So that is the little update. So I'm going to do what I can and then make my list for the tasks tomorrow. So I'm glad you could join me, and I'll see you again soon. This is crazy. Look, just washed away my bridge.